Welcome back to Education Champions on Daily News Network. I'm Mike White, and joining me every episode is Sarah with Mathodolgy. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
So we've been talking a lot about the biggest changes that is being seen in education. What is your opinion of the biggest changes that you are seeing?
Currently, in the early childhood realm, there's a need for insight and depth in the pre-K world, the early childhood world, and the approaches that we're going to take there, especially incorporating play. How can we purposefully weave in mathematics around play so that students are learning in a way that they don't even know that they're learning?
Excellent. Well, and joining us today, we have an expert in play, Neily Boyd. Welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in the industry.
Yeah, so I started out as a secondary math teacher. I later went on to coach math teachers. I was the director of math for six schools, 3 elementary schools and 3 middle schools. And as I was working with teachers across the K-8 math spectrum, I noticed how many foundational math concepts students were missing when they started kindergarten. And that led me to really dive into the research about early math and the thinking that children really need to do with math concepts before they ever step foot into a kindergarten classroom.
Who is the main customer that you serve with Counting with Kids?
Yeah, so I work mostly with parents through Counting with Kids. The goal is to help parents become aware of all of the opportunities that they have through their daily life with their young children, so specifically children before they go to kindergarten, to incorporate math and to have math conversations and to start introducing these math concepts that children will need in order to be successful when they start school.
So Neily, in your work with parents, what do you find that they really hang on to most and that they want to learn more about and they embrace?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is just how many opportunities there are to incorporate math in the things that we're already doing. I don't know a single parent who is sitting around thinking, gosh, I don't have enough to do. My to-do list is just too short, right? Most parents are actually feeling like the number of things that we need to do are never ending. And so for parents to understand that math doesn't have to be a new thing or an extra thing, it can be part of what we're already doing just in the lives that we live with our kids on a day-to-day basis.
That's right. And so you talked about your role starting in the secondary and then supporting those elementary teachers. What are the connections that you see between a middle school teacher but also that early childhood teacher? What are those core foundational things that sometimes we lose maybe at a middle school that we really initiate or are initiated at the kindergarten and pre-K level?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is just our number system and how, the concept of numbers, when you think about our base 10 number system, is built on repeating groups of 10. And so if a kindergartner understands that 10 ones makes 110, and then that keeps building as they move through elementary school, then it's easier for a middle schooler to understand decimals and how 10 tenths makes 1 whole. And I think this idea that all of the concepts that children learn in math are connected and they keep growing as a child grows really emphasizes the importance of getting that foundation started on the right foot, even when the numbers seem really simple and not as complex as what they'll work with later.
Yeah, I love that idea of connecting the ideas because so many times teachers think, I'm working on this unit and topics are taught in isolation. And when kids can't see that connection, it's not meaningful and it doesn't stick.
Neily, if you would share with me the experience you helped co-author or write a project with Mathodolgy for the pre-K level. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this was such a fun project, and I really loved being part of writing this pre-K Developing Roots curriculum with Sarah. Sarah identified a need for math curriculum in the pre-K world that really anchors on a strong foundation in understanding math concepts, but also recognized that there are so many opportunities to weave math into the day-to-day play and routines of a preschool classroom, very similarly to what I was talking about with parents and their work with math at home. So Sarah and I got to partner to write this curriculum that I think does a wonderful job of incorporating strong math concepts for young learners while also weaving the thinking into what a preschool student is already doing in their life at school.
Yeah, and as you said, it's not really difficult when we just step back and look at our day-to-day activities. There's so much math that we're already doing that we don't need the worksheets and sitting at desks.
You know, so much of math is about how we kind of quantify the world around us. And that starts in the early years. And so giving children an opportunity to notice the math that is happening as they play with blocks, as they play with, pretend toys, as they play with dolls, or any other kind of pretend play center that's happening in their classroom. There's all kinds of math opportunities that naturally exist in those spaces. And so helping kids see that opens their eyes to all of the way math is part of our larger world as they continue to grow.
All great things, and it's really part of that educating the kids. Things keep changing, but having experts in the industry like Neily and her company available to support them is very crucial. So Neily, thank you so much for joining us today on the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Neily.
To find out more about counting with kids and all the amazing things they could do to help you out, visit us at dailynewsnetwork.com. We'll see you next time on Educating Champions.
I'm Sarah Schaefer, founder of Mathodolgy. We're a company that's invested in helping parents, teachers, students understand the whys behind the math concepts and not just the how-tos. Understanding how math connects. The ideas connect and should not be taught in isolation. We need to provide these connections. This is what I do, and this is what I'm so passionate about.